Okie dokie, everybody. Welcome back to another episode for the Primaris Black Shields. My apologies, I was just reading while I was waiting on things to dry. And I figured we even break out the Primaris Black Shield that I had done in the first place. I took the backpack from that Primaris Captain with Power Fist, the same one that we had used for the Obsidian Suns. I just didn't want that backpack for him. I wanted to create my own, which I think we did a pretty good job with, if I do say so myself, which I just did. So, now that everything's dry, let's go ahead to the leather brown. Get some stiffs out of the way. All right. Get some leather brown going. And as I usually state for everyone to know, when it comes to leather brown, if you have Citadel paints instead of Army Painter, you can use Steel Legion Drab. It is more or less the same shade. You most likely, if you have those colors already, you most likely already know this. And that's okay. I don't mind reinstating those facts, those tips for anyone out there who just might not know. Or if you're like myself and you have both, because, hey, Citadel makes some great paints, and hey, so does Army Painter. I really wasn't sure when I was first getting Army Painter. I thought I was getting like one of those secondhand brands or something like that, and man, I couldn't have been more wrong. Like, honestly, I really didn't know what I was getting. And this was years ago when I was first starting, like, 2019, 2020. 2018 is more accurate of when I was starting. But 2019 is when I actually got somewhat serious about my painting. My friends were like, hey, you're doing a pretty damn good job there. And I was like, oh, thanks. Maybe I'll try even harder. And I did, and here we are. And that's something that I do see in the community. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of encouragement. And of course, I encourage any of you and all of you. And if you're really not even trying to become a full-time painter and everything, that is fine. No one says that you have to just for getting into this hobby. Like, that's not the goal here. The goal here is just to have fun, dude. Now, if you have your aspirations to become a full-time painter, by all means, shoot for the stars, dude. Oh no, what do they say? Shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you end up in the stars. Like, it's okay. Do your thing, trust your gut. If that is your goal, keep that goal in mind. You gotta keep your eyes on the prize. It's what I've been trying to do in my personal life, and now in my professional life as well. Until my painting takes off, I kind of don't have a choice in what I want to do. I mean, I always have a choice, but what I mean by that is, I like to give myself some kind of crunch time. So, because if I don't, I'm just going to get lazy with it. I know it. I know it. I also decided against the khaki for what I'm about to do. If I can just find it. There it is. We're going to go with this tanned flesh, because we're going to do that purity seal, right? Whew, good Lord. Tanned flesh is never a bad choice for that. It gives you a nice dark parchment. So what I was saying, though, is that I try to keep myself in a harsh light. That way I can try to push past it. I have to do better. I have to do better. It's not just for me, it's the kids are also counting on me. I got to do better. Got to do better. And one, I want to demand more of myself that way. that I can actually push myself to it. Now, this has totally been a detriment to me before, whereas, you expect too much of yourself, and then when you don't meet those standards, you crumble. And that's where I got tired of crumbling. Because that just doesn't do anybody any good anywhere. And everything that I'm kind of dancing around, for those of you that know, that I had applied to the fire department. I'm still waiting to hear back because it is still April for me when we're recording this. Not exactly to date this episode, but just so you guys know that I am this far ahead. I really am in my recording schedule because I can't help myself. There's so many projects that I could be doing that aren't for the show, but I'd rather be that far ahead to keep myself good. And, we just gotta stay focused. Now, with all of that being said and done, before we take the mummy robe and before we take the khaki, you know what? No. What we were going to do with this khaki, it is a layer paint. I am not the most experienced or skilled with layer paints. The consistency seems to be a bit different than I'm kind of used to, and it is because in my understanding, it is because it is something that you are supposed to layer with, whether that be, I'm assuming, thin coats and whatnot, but it is something that you apply to add more definition color to whatever it is that you're working with. And we're just not the most skilled with stuff like that, because I have tried to use it as a base coat and it did not work. It might be the fact that it was whatever color that I was using, because not all colors are made equal when it comes to these paints. Sometimes it's just a pain in the ass, but we are going to use it. It makes a pretty decent dry brush. So we're going to use this khaki to dry brush our leather, because it will honestly look pretty good. I could just tell you from at least my experience that this is kind of like, ooh, that had a real nice color to that. Whew. In my experience, when it comes to working with leather and whatnot, these khakis really work. They really, really do. And it's as simple as that. I do highly recommend that anybody get a set of these dry brush paint brushes. You don't have to get the same brand that I'm using, the Nick Pro, whatever it is. I very much like these. They've been a huge help. And to anyone who's looking into doing the slap chop technique, by all means, you're gonna kind of need this stuff anyway, so you might as well do it. And don't mind me. We're just gonna, I know it's a different color, but it'll be all right. Just trust me. Just trying to catch a little bit of this leather. There we go. Trying to get those straps. And I know when it comes to these belts and everything, man, it has been kind of a challenge to decide what to do with it. I don't see a lot of people painting the belt to be leather. Usually I just see it's one color. And then when it comes to the pouches and whatnot, I want to say most people go with black. I want to say. I could be dead wrong, and that's fine. But we've got our mummy robe. I very much like using the mummy robe for dry brushing on black because it is a nice off black. Or yeah, it's way off. It's way off the black. It's a nice off-white. matte white gets to be a little bit, a little bit too stark for my taste. And this off-white really lends itself to black armor. You know, it brightens, it gives you kind of what you're looking for without ruining what you're doing. Honestly, we're just trying to pick up some stuff. I wanted to use the smaller brush for it, but I wanted that smaller 3 gauge for the dry brush. I wanted that for well, what you saw. Sorry, my brain ain't working right now. And it's okay to get the rest of the model too. Don't worry. You're not exactly going to ruin your model. You just have to make sure that you're doing this thin enough. And I will hit the leather. It brightens up that khaki. I'm trying to make sure that I just get the edges and whatnot. It will help you. It really, really will. All right, and I'm not worried about hitting the gray on his armor, because we know that that is going to be painted as the brass, and I'm still like, oh, what am I going to do with that? And I know what I'm going to do with it. It's just, it throws me off and it makes me nervous. And I'm talking about his shin right there that is still gray. It makes me nervous because I don't think I've ever done something like that. And I don't, as much as I quote unquote won't be screwing it up. I can hear my wife. I can hear my wife now. Just stop it. Just stop it. You stop it, woman. You stop it. You let me freak out, all right? You let me freak out, let me panic, because you know I'm going to be all right in a minute. I just need to get it out of my system. Just let me go. Ah! Ah! Sorry, anytime I do that, I think of Ralphie May when he was telling the story about the dirty white people. The dude with the dreadlocks. Such a funny story. Such a funny story. Because most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, whenever I've seen a white dude with dreadlocks, they really do just, you look like dirty white people. Ah! Get away from my coffee, you dirty white people! My goodness. Such a fantastic joke. And not even just a joke, that was totally a real story. And yeah, I've kind of been there where I've seen some people and I'm just like, oh, you're so gross. Get away from my shit. Don't touch my shit. Don't touch it. Don't fucking touch it. You dirty son of a bitch. You touched it. Oh, you're so gross. But I feel like, probably like many of you, when it comes to people, I am not exactly a people person. I mean, I'm fine. I can blend into society. It's whatever. I'm pretty sure I've said it before. I've preached it in out there in the real world. You know, I've considered myself to be an introvert, and I've had some people like, dude, you are not an introvert. I'm like, yeah, whatever. If anything, fine. I'm an omnivert. And I was talking to somebody about this recently, and he was like, even if people think you're a fucking, it's all energy based. So if being around people and whatnot is exhausting, then you probably are an introvert. You know, if you do not get energy from it, you probably are an introvert. And I was like, that's an interesting take. I like that. Not that because it reaffirms me or anything, but I like that line of thought because I feel like he's right. If being around the people and everything, even if it is your friends, if it's draining your energy, you probably are an introvert. Now, this, of course, doesn't go for everybody. But I've seen it where people, they love to be around everybody. And they're like, yes, this gives me so much energy. Let me go get the red, because I wanted to do that for that helmet. And we're going to make it nice and bright. I want that red to stand out. I was going to use Flesh Terror red or whatnot. And actually, we're going to go with Mephiston red. Yeah. It's like I just said, I would like it to stand out a bit. And that red will absolutely stand out. Mephiston red? Oh, hell yeah. That'll do it. You see how we just got in the zone? It's nice and subtle. It almost just blends right in with that black. Like there's not a harsh line, and I kind of like that. Just kind of gives you what you got. And you know what? While we're at it, we're going to paint those eye lenses red. Because I've never been a one for green lenses, as I've said before. Now, I did do it to that, to that other Primaris Marine. To the other Black Shield. I did that because, well, I just did. I wanted to use the Tesseract Glow, which is that is a technical paint by Citadel. So now that we got that, let's do. I'm gonna save that. And I'm gonna tease you guys because we're already at 16 minutes, so we don't really have much time in this episode to do the other stuff, and I want to save the brass. Give you guys a reason to come back because you know that brass is gonna be badass. You know it. You know it. I know it. You know it. Your mama knows it. It's gonna be awesome. And we want it to be special. It's my special boy. I don't know why Miss Voorhees jumped into my head. But speaking of Miss Voorhees, for those of you that are seeing this in, I believe, September, we do have Halloween specials planned. And by that, I'm talking about doing a Jason Voorhees. I believe I've already talked about this maybe. But either way, it absolutely, it's confirmed here. Confirmed by the trooper himself. Yes, I'm going to do Jason Voorhees for the Halloween era. It'll air throughout October. That's what I'm going to try to plan it out for. Because I've been keeping track of these episodes, how long they take, and when they are going to premiere. Had to do that to try to keep track of myself. Because after that, I am considering doing something Mass Effect for November. Because one of the what I consider to be a holiday, one of the only holidays that I honestly love to celebrate is N7 Day, because I've talked briefly about this, how N7, I have the tattoo of the N7 on my chest where it would go on the armor, and that is because Mass Effect saved my life. And I will most likely talk more about that in that series. So I'm going to leave it at that, because I don't want to keep repeating myself in a lot of this stuff. Because, man, when I'm recording, we're going, and then I kind of just forget. I kind of just forget what the hell I was talking about, and I might end up retelling a story or something. If I do that, my apologies, guys. It is what it is. And if I flubbed a detail, I mean, dude, my bad. My bad, On a technicality, whenever you're remembering a story or whatnot, and you're telling something from your memory, you're technically only remembering the last time you remembered it, or the last time you thought about it. So, apparently that's how that goes. And if that's how that goes, you leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. I'm doing my best. And as you guys can see, I'm doing I'm doing this top grill, this top plate in the gunmetal. I very much like doing this top plate in gunmetal because it kind of breaks up the model, but also makes it a little more cohesive, in my opinion. In my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to do it. You can paint it all the one color. I don't care. But I like having these small little elements because I feel like it brings a somewhat realism to that model. And like I said, it gives it more to look at, more to deal with. And then that skull up top will be that awesome brass. But I wanted all of this to be that gunmetal shade, and that will work for us. I guarantee you. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Whew! We're at 21 minutes. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. So, I do want to say now that I very much appreciate y'all. I know I've said that before, and I'm really not trying to blow smoke up your ass or anything like that. I do very much appreciate all of you. I can't thank you enough for your patronage and stopping by the channel, giving your 2 cents, shouting your support, and even some of you with your not dissupport or things you disagree with. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Like somebody had not the best. They had their own opinion about my Captain Drager. And I just played it off as, I called him a heretic because that's fine. But you're also not going to really sit there and tell me that character is not who I said it is. I understand that I didn't have the proper helmet. I understand I did not have the proper weaponry that he has in his photos and some of the other models that you would see. Dude, get over it. If you don't like it, do your own. And then you can send me a picture of it, and then I will critique the shit out of your fucking painting, because why not? Because when you do shit like that, it makes me a little sensitive, makes me a little self-defensive. I'm like, okay, you don't think that that's right? Fine. What do you have? We'll see if that's right. And holy shit, if it's so good, I got nothing negative to say. That's awesome. That's badass in my opinion. Like, damn. Not only did you correct me, but you showed me up. And that would be awesome. But more, 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to be doing that. You're just going to throw your 2 cents. You're going to say what you want. And then you're going to disappear, never to be seen again. And what does that do for your opinion? Not much. And what do we say about opinions? Well, everybody's got them. Just like a big stinky asshole. Everybody's got them. I just hope you wipe yours. It's as simple as that. Simple, simple, simple. Speaking of simples, it is interesting just how simple these chain swords are. I mean, not that it needs to be complicated. I mean, it's a chain sword, a chainsaw sword. Not a very difficult concept to understand. And I love when people first get introduced to a chainsword and they're like, I'm sorry, a what? I'm like, yeah, I didn't stutter. I'm not making this up. It is a chainsaw sword. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And you guys have probably seen this too, to anyone who's brand new to Warhammer. And they go, but why? And to that I say, why the fuck not, man? Why not? Haven't you just hated something so much? You don't just want to cut it in half. You want to shred it. Haven't you ever played Doom? Rip and tear, motherfucker. Rip and tear. And with that sentiment, I will see you guys on the next round. May the Void Father guide your brush. Peace.